well. By the way, my name is Taketsushi Aochi. That's Taketsushi Aochi, the so-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections, strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. Lies. He doesn't care. He couldn't give any less of a care in the world. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Right, we're heading back to the courtroom. Oh gosh, it's time to call on that reporter and see what he saw. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Light here, and we're continuing forward. Alright, I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Membani. Prosecutor Aochi, have you summoned the new witness? Oh. Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. This can't be good. Oh? What news? And why does he look so happy about it? I don't know. Can't be anything good, that's for sure. During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life. Okay, so either... I'm guessing... Well... What, is there no poison found? Because, like, why would he be so happy? Excellent, I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the Regent delivered to police headquarters by a rickshaw, so it would be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And, Counsel, what were the results? Oh no. This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim... Oh wait, does that mean... Does that mean they didn't get the Regent? Has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the Regent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. What? What does that mean, then? Is that not the murder weapon? In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Ugh! Ouch, I have to say that every time. That must hurt. I love the animation, but that must hurt to have your back flung against a wall like that. Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer, bring in the witness. No trace of poison on the knife, but if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Hold on, let me reread that. This is in here, right? Okay. Even the smallest amount entering via the mouth. Via the mouth! So they put it in her drink. Again? Again with this? Oh man. Well, that's great. And the fact that poison is mentioned at all, literally, it's case 1 of the first game flashbacks. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. This guy seems like a character, alright. Oh, the armband! The armband has the same symbol that's on the pen. Oh, he's our guy. He's our guy. Written memo of the Shoyu News. I'm what people like to call a jurno. What's a jurno, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalist. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it? Well, well, what have we here? I'm sorry. Oh, brace yourselves, people! MENIMEMO'S senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Literally, huh? Right then, let's start with your name. Oh, it's Ryotaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryotaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsushi Aochi. That's Taketsushi Aochi, the so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections, strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. Lies. He doesn't care. He couldn't give any less of a care in the world. No, the readers won't buy that. What? Witness? Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a jurno if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. No good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my MENIMEMO'ism. MENIMEMO'ism? Yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Suzeki-san. Yes, right, that was me. MENIMEMO again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't! Because that English woman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? A criminal, left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core! The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. You're not wrong. Speak up louder for the people in the back. Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story, so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? Okay, so he has a motive now. He could have put the poison. First of all, he knows about the poison because he was there when they interviewed oh my gosh, Suzeki and what's Hisato's father's name? I forget. Anyways, he was there to know about the poison. He went after them, so he could have put the poison in her wine. I think she was drinking at the time. And then 3, he would have been able to frame Ray. It all lines up. And also, 4, the logo on his armband is the same as the logo on the pen we found. This grim scene portrayed in this photograph. We got our guy. Now we just have to nail him. Oh yes, I saw it with my very own jurno eyes. From start to finish. Through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, MENIMEMO-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Well, it's all going to be lies, because he's our guy. I don't think there's anybody else it could be anyways. Camera never lies. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Read screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. Ah, I see. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. Pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime. A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. On a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's MENIMEMO'S in a nutshell. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. Yes, a verdict of not guilty. Because he's the killer. No! Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied. But this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why, then, was the story never published? Oh, that's right. Oh? It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. More pathetic excuses. Very well then, Counsel, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. The fact that he's the killer? Maybe? Just slightly? Right. Hold on. Okay, let me just review what he said. She was sitting on a stool, student girl came in, started arguing with her, behind my head. Girl put out a knife, throwing the instrument to the floor, she stabbed her in the back. How does he... Oh wait, well, he apparently saw it. Okay. Quick splash, whipped up the camera, ready to click. Pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens, put the lens through for the perfect shot. I'm not sure. Do we even examine this? I don't know. Well, it's just blood. He gave us this, so there's gonna be nothing with this either. I'm kind of tempted to, like, present his own photo against him, but I think we need to press, right? Let's just press for some more information for starters. What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place? Call it jurno instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman. Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. Ooh. Nope, you've got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even MENIMEMO'ism, it's basic journalism. Only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Aww. Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. Oh boy. Alright.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Minbami-san entering the hut? Yep. She was raging. Raging like my journal spirit. Fun. Oh wait, hold on. I've seen photo. I just want to make sure. Okay. Make sure that he says anything about the scene that's a lie, we know. Oh man. And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? You stole it! I didn't steal it, that kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl walked right up to the English woman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. What? The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism. But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears. A Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Shut it, you. Which was the climatic moment that I caught on film. Wait a second. All done. I'm gonna save. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't need to. I still have all my penalty things. I just realized that. Because I want to try and presenting his photo here. Because he's like perfect shot. She doesn't look like she's actually stabbing, right? I don't know. Let's just try.
Objection!
Okay, we failed. Alright. That's fine. One strike against the many. I don't really care. Contradiction lies in your apparent eagerness to present an empty argument. I feel ouch. Perhaps I need to reconsider. Alright, fine. We'll go back to pressing for now. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. It's fine. He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating. But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it? That's how you feel? I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as judicial assistant. Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do. Alright. Thought so, okay. Right. Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ah, the precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out, from start to finish. I have here a simple plan at the beach hut. Oh good, because we got this, okay. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are, it's all here in my memo pad. I know it's his name, but it's like... I think I want him to start saying it just a little bit less. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. I'm gonna kill you. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The English woman went for the student, the girl dodged out of the way, and in a flash, plunged a knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. Didn't he just say she pressed her down to the floor? What you describe is a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what MENIMEMO'S says. I'm gonna kill you. Ah! I'm gonna hurt you, at least. Okay. By the way, MENIMEMO-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film? Journals have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre. Why are we bringing French into this? He didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something to be proud of, is it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness's last, expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what are you... I will grant the defense's request. MENIMEMO-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of MENIMEMOism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. Never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with Englishwomen. I was there only as an observer. Well, it's not like we have anything that proves that he did, do we? Did we press everything first? Shouldn't get lost in that because we didn't press everything. Okay.
Hold it!
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why then did you choose to post a photograph anonymously to the police? I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident. Think of me as a sculptor who makes art out of sordid, private details of other people's lives. That's a certain way to describe it, what the heck. But I never discuss my own personal life on principle. I mean, it's basic MENIMEMOism. Not something to boast about. No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you. That's it. That's brilliant. What the heck? My burning desire to see something or other exposed. Has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw, though. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph? Ah, yes, that. I'm glad you asked. This guy is...
Hold it!
But the two women inside didn't notice. Obviously not. If they had, where would I be right now? In jail, that's where. Which you'd think would make you reflect on what you were doing. No, a journal's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints. Take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on. Did he just make that up? Point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph, and this photograph reveals the whole truth. There is nothing more to be said. I'm not exactly sure about that.
Hold it!
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes. It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. MENIMEMOism and humanism don't always agree, and most of the time in those instances, MENIMEMOism comes out on top. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Surely he's making all this up. Yes, most likely. Alright. Okay, so we pressed him on everything. Can we press something again? Is this and what he said after different, right?
Hold it!
Hold on. Da da da. Yeah, we get it. Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah. Um. One step from the Norse book. I was only there. Server. Wait a second. It just clicked for me. The pen. If it works. There's the logo. And the RM could be his name, right? Well, I can't see his profile here. I forget his full name. But still. Let's just try.
Objection!
Yes! I knew it! The pen! MENIMEMO'S, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there. Press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In a way, that's more MENIMEMO'ism. Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recommendatory words, Counsel? MENIMEMO'S, do you recognize this fountain pen? Ugh! This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died. What are you... If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Raymond Banny. Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also RM? No! Haha. Rayton MENIMEMO, RM. That's horse dung! Can't you see? One of the central tenets of MENIMEMO'ism is being a pencil user. And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dung! MENIMEMO'S, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Objection!
Yes, I love the music. Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse. Oh, shut it, you. We've got him. Go away. Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky. The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes. There's another clue. I love her sprite. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. In that case, Counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. Of course, Your Excellency. Clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is this little emblem here. Oh my gosh. I love it. As well as the initials, there's also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, MENIMEMO'S. Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Shoyu News. In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, MENIMEMO-san, how do you respond? No! Come on! Order, explain yourself, witness! Of course he's gonna try and wiggle his way out of this, of course. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. Can you please stop doing that with his suspenders? I, a Shoyu news reporter, on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman. Oh, great. What is this music? Stop. An interview? You never mentioned this before? When exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we many memos say, people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Well, he was able to put poison into her drink and killed her. Yep, that's all that transpired. Got it, yes, alright, but on one condition. Condition? In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Saseki Natsumi-san. Saseki-san? Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Embrace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big. What? What? What the heck could his secret be? MENIMEMO'S states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Very well, I will grant the witness's request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand. Saseki-san hiding something? Yeah, he seemed like he was hiding something. I mean, well, I guess he's always been shifty, so that doesn't really help his cause. Alright, they're secrets. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why MENIMEMO'S demands I reveal it now. You mean to say the victim regained consciousness? Well, and when she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yes. He did, and that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused. What? This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't she mention this before, you yokel hack? Hey! It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did pose the withering English Rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious, even. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut? Well, I don't deny that she could have lied and said Ray did it, because they had a fight. Okay.
Hold it!
May as well hear this. You asked her for an interview, you say? Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year. About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life. Not the way I phrased it. Minimalism calls for straight talk. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson, is how I put it to her. Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler. Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. And how did Miss Brett answer? With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Ooh, that told me. So I waltzed right out of there. Really? Something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together. Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall. I say it's the best way. Really? A veteran at the paper taught me that. Sure they did. Watching Secret Found Ties, should have realized the victim still had a pulse, so he ran up to fetch help. Spider-Man here asked the woman a very significant question.
Hold it!
What question? What exactly did he say? Well now, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Riderman? Ugh! Out with it, you yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? What did he say? Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man. But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. Hooray! I ran up the beach to see what was happening, find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hasanaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan, a moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin! But what did you ask her, Saseki-san? Tell us, what did you ask her? I asked her, who did this to you? Oh my gosh. Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond? She didn't! She said nothing in response! But... When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony. What's going on? I will! The heck? I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied.
Hold it!
You said but. So you tried to find out who the culprit was. He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. Oh, I like that. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. However, you've indicated that the victim failed to respond, is that correct? I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache, because I'm Japanese. Oh dear, Saseki-san has really developed a dislike for the English, it seems. Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. But the Englishwoman didn't ignore you at all, did she, Mr. Riderman? Well, yes, alright. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. Lifted a trembling finger, pointed in the direction of the defendant.
Hold it!
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant? Saseki-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked, who did this to you? The Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. No. Saseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? But, fiddlesticks, I say! This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese. Yes, of course. The English woman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no! Not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all. You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear.
Objection!
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. No. She was pointing to where the reporter was, where he was here. Where he was peeking. That's where she was pointing. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly, but there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. No. I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No. The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyer's hopes dashed. 92 points across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition. This is a serious blow, Sasato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling. The trial will be over. But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. May gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. I'm actually glad for the flashback for once. The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question. Take it then, that the defense has nothing further to add. So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised. In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter. This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim? I know how. You have to know how.
Objection!
It's hiding outside the hut. Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your education for the time being. Oh? To what end, counsel? The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? Ha! None exists.
Objection!
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. Dang, if only women were allowed in court, Suzato would be an awesome lawyer. By mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction. Fantasy. Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Outside the hut. Over here. Alright?
Take that!
Yep. Naruhodo-san would never give up. And I'm a Naruhodo now. Yes, you are. You are! The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here. Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut. He was. What? He was. Order, order, order. A student lawyer, Naruhodo-san, Esquire. That makes no sense at all. You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scope snapped. Thanks for telling us. I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I can swear to that. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut. Actually, Prosecutor Aochi, there is a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing! You're bluffing, you Yoko! The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? His photo, right?
Take that!
Well, I've presented it now, but I haven't the first idea why I chose this piece. Oh, am I wrong? Oops. I suggest that this piece of evidence bears our theories how the victim was stabbed. It's something of a windfall, Your Excellency. What? Okay, hold on. He is correct. When the knife was thrust into Miss Brett's back from outside the hut, there should be a visible trace somewhere. Trace? Yes. And the hut itself. And with that idea, I must look through the court record again. Thank you for the help. So there should be something here. Oh, right here. Aha.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene? Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. Trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Objection!
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Are you blind, man? Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside of the hut? Right here, man.
Take that!
Look closely, just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't. I can't see any such thing. Are you blind? It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. This is extraordinary. Yes. True culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right, and MENIMEMO-san, it could only have been you. Yes. No.
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not. Or not? If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett, but she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool. Have another look at the photograph. A slit in this reed screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting at on that stool. My word. So, in fact, the victim was killed while sitting on that stool. by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Ah! Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut, before the defendant and Bami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. Please tell me we got him. Come on! By your silence, MENIMEMO-san, I take it that you don't deny the charge. This is absurd! That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Bami-san, is innocent of the crime. Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave. I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be. The Aochi clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope. It's non-existent. It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't. I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my Knew it. I knew it. It's not over yet. We have to prove how the poison was put there. Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut, through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, seems a little irrelevant now. Relevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference, if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. What? What are you talking about? Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up. What? Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, so shall we? I understand that the deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used. I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. Oh, great. How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. You weren't gonna accept the poison, now you want to accept the poison? Oh my god. Because quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can't be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already—
Objection!
Ha! Forgotten already, have we, Yoko? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, should not be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right? I don't like you. Well, Dang it. We almost had him. Order. But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. Imbibed? You mean she drank it? Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. Poison could have been slipped into it. What? Hold on, let me reread that. The poison could have been slipped into either. Oh, okay. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it. Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Stop! Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already. Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Ooh, let me capture those white eyes. This is a prime press fodder, this is. It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot at that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. I claim it to be impossible that you are the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court, in your testimony, the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a jurno, and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now, because that's MENIMEMO'S. You're hiding right now, because you killed her. For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us? I knew that it wouldn't be over until the poison was dealt with. Alright. Guess we'll have to deal with his new testimony next time. Gosh dang it. I hate how long it takes them to freaking submit. We know you did it, just admit it. Admit your crime already. But we'll have to wait till next time for that. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this one. I wanna get him so bad. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.